SUVs are supposed to be the safe bet, but in 2026, some of them are quietly turning into rolling repair schedules with a payment attached. When complexity stacks up, recalls start flying, and everyday reliability gets sacrificed for tech flexing. That family upgrade can turn into a straight headache real fast. What's up? It's Scott from CarLandTV, and today I'm exposing the SUVs mechanics and service techs are straight up warning people not to buy in 2026. But first, do me a quick favor. Tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. It ain't required, but those clicks keep this thing rolling and make it easier for me to keep dropping solid car content straight to your screen. Now, let's get back into it. Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. The Grand Cherokee 4xe is one of those SUVs where the warning signs are already baked in, and yeah, I pay attention to those. There have been multiple federal recalls tied to the high-voltage battery system, including official guidance telling owners to park outside and avoid charging until fixes are applied. That alone tells me the risk profile is not theoretical. A plug-in hybrid fire risk is a serious failure mode, not a squeaky trim issue or a buggy app. From a technical standpoint, the problem centers on the lithium-ion battery pack and internal cell failures that can lead to thermal events. These systems rely on separators, cooling loops, contactors, and battery management software, all playing nicely together. When one piece goes sideways, the fix is not a simple part swap. Dealers end up waiting on updated battery modules, revised software, or supplier-level remedies, and the vehicle just sits. I have seen owners lose weeks, sometimes longer, over a single fault code tied to the high-voltage side. Layer that hybrid system on top of a turbocharged engine, an 8-speed transmission, power electronics, and a network of control modules, and you get a diagnostic nightmare. Shops do not love these jobs because everything is interdependent. Reliability data has already flagged the Grand Cherokee lineup as below average, with the plug-in variant doing even worse. For a daily driver that is supposed to be dependable, that combination makes me uneasy. What stings more is that the next SUV brings similar disappointment from a brand people usually trust. Mazda usually earns trust in my book, so seeing the CX-90 rack up early recall activity was a damn moment. This is a fresh platform with a lot going on, and the proof is in the paperwork. Mazda has issued safety recalls on certain CX-90 seconds for stuff that can actually change how the vehicle drives, not cosmetic nonsense. One of the big ones was a steering-related recall, where steering effort could suddenly increase, which is the kind of thing that gets your attention real quick when you are mid-turn. Mazda CX-90. Then you get into the software side, and that's where the CX-90 starts feeling like a rolling beta test. Mazda has recalled CX-90 and CX-70 vehicles for multiple ECU reprogramming, and the descriptions have included scenarios like stalling, driver assist, and camera functions acting up, and defroster logic problems. Those are not ignore it issues. Modern SUVs tie braking support, stability control, communication, camera processing, and HVAC logic into a network of modules. When the code is off, the car can enter fail-safe behavior, throw a bunch of warnings, and you are stuck chasing intermittent faults that do not reproduce on demand. The plug-in hybrid CX-90 PHEV adds another layer. There's been a recall tied to improper inverter software that can trigger fail-safe and limit motor power in EV mode, with the risk being loss of drive power while you are moving. Technically, that's the inverter control strategy and protection thresholds doing the wrong thing, so the fix is usually software, but the ownership experience still sucks because you are at the mercy of updates and dealer scheduling. Consumer reliability tracking has also flagged the CX-90 as below the brand's usual standard, which lines up with what I'd expect from a complex first-generation launch. And that's the theme here. When an SUV leans hard on electronics, batteries, and control software, small glitches stop being small. That sets the stage for an even bigger headache once you go full EV with a massive battery and charging system in the mix. Kia swung big with the EV9, but the early paper trail screams new model growing pains. And that matters if I'm the one signing the note. NHTSA recall documents have covered core driver info, including an instrument cluster screen that can go intermittently blank at startup due to a software logic error. If the speedometer and warning telltales vanish, that is a safety problem that usually means a dealer software update, plus the hassle of scheduling and verifying the fix. Propulsion issues are the bigger deal. Coverage of a 2025 EV9 recall points to faulty rear gear drive units that can lead to loss of drive power. On an EV, propulsion is a chain. Traction motor, reduction gear set, bearings, lubrication, sensors, and control logic that reacts to abnormal loads. When the gear drive unit is the weak link, the repair is major parts and serious labor, and the vehicle can sit while components move through the supply pipeline. Money and time burn fast. No cap, period. The low-voltage system adds another ops moment. A Kia service bulletin describes 12-volt battery drain tied to the wireless phone charger remaining active while parked, which can drop voltage and cause a no-start condition. That is the classic EV headache where the high-voltage pack is fine, but the 12-volt system collapses, and everything goes dark. Kia has also published an over-the-air update aimed at improving charging compatibility with certain fast chargers to reduce the probability of charging shutdowns. Consumer Reports expects the 2026 EV9 to be less reliable than average, based on data from 2024 and 2025 models. And once reliability starts leaning on updates, modules, and campaign visits, it's a short jump to the electrical and infotainment gremlins that show up in the next SUV on this list. Volkswagen, Atlas, and Atlas Cross Sport. The VW Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport look like a simple, big family, big space move, but the recall trail is why I hesitate. A lot of the issues hit safety systems and core electronics, so the fixes are dealer level and sometimes become repeat visits. That's the kind of pattern mechanics hate, because it burns time and money. Start with the passenger occupant detection system recall on certain Atlas and Cross Sport model years. The problem centers on wiring under the front passenger seat. A contact fault can trigger a malfunction and deactivate the passenger airbag even when the seat is occupied. Technically, that system talks to a control unit under the seat, so diagnosis can involve pulling trim, checking connectors, inspecting harness routing, and replacing the affected parts. Owners usually find out when schedules are packed. Then there's the rear-view camera recall. On 2024 and 2025 Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport SUVs, where the image can appear distorted due to a software error. Rear camera performance is regulated for a reason. A warped image in reverse kills depth perception, and the fix is typically a software update to the infotainment or camera module. If the head unit is already glitchy, that visit can turn into ops-level troubleshooting. Another campaign that bugs me is the recall covering certain 2023 to 2025 vehicles for bolts that may not have been correctly tightened on chassis, brake, or suspension points. Think subframe hardware, control arm fasteners, engine mount bolts, and rear brake carrier bolts. A torque check and replacement is straightforward, but this is basic assembly quality. When a mainstream SUV racks up airbag sensing faults, camera software fixes, and critical fastener campaigns, it points to inconsistent build and validation. That same back at the shop again vibe shows up with the Explorer too. Hyundai Santa Fe. The 2024 to 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe with the 2.5 tons gas engine is the kind of SUV that looks dialed until you dig into the recall docs. Hyundai recalled about 135,000 non-hybrid Santa Fe SUVs because the starter motor's positive B+ terminal cover may be improperly installed. In a crash, that cover can be misaligned enough that the terminal can contact nearby components, creating an electrical short and raising the risk of a fire. That's not a maybe the screen glitches problem. That's a high current path that can arc when stuff shifts under impact. Here's why that's such a big deal mechanically. The starter B+ terminal is basically a direct feed off the battery through heavy gauge wiring. If that terminal gets exposed and touches grounded metal or a moving fan assembly during a crash event, you can get instant heat, insulation damage, and a sustained short. Protection in the system is not guaranteed to save you because you're dealing with a physical contact fault, and the vehicle might still have energized circuits right after impact. The remedy is inspection and correction at the dealer, but the point is that the defect exists in the first place, and it's tied to assembly quality. Then there's the transmission story, which is honestly a second red flag. Hyundai had a recall on early 2024 Santa Fe units for the 8-speed dual clutch, and by 2026, they're switching the non-hybrid Santa Fe over to an 8-speed torque converter automatic. That change is a pretty loud signal from the manufacturer that the original setup was causing enough trouble to justify a hardware direction change. A DCT can be great when it's right, but when it's not, you're talking clutch control, mechatronics, overheating behavior, limp modes, and expensive replacements. So if I'm shopping in 2026 and I see a model line with a fire risk recall tied to a high current terminal plus a transmission overhaul right after launch, I'm cautious. And that same too many systems, too many fixes vibe shows up again when we get back to the Grand Cherokee nameplate. Chevrolet Blazer EV. Chevy's Blazer EV is the kind of SUV that makes me check the VIN twice before I start talking numbers. GM paused sales on launch. Damn. Because owners and reviewers were getting hit with software problems, including infotainment crashes and faults that interfered with operation and charging. When a brand has to halt deliveries to stabilize the code, that tells me the product is still settling. Then you've got a safety recall that's not small. NHTSA Recall 25V433 covers 2024 to early 2025 Blazer EVs because the rear parking brake wiring harness can flex, chafe, and end up damaged or corroded. The risk? Unintended parking brake actuation while driving or losing the parking brake function. GM's report includes complaints describing rear wheel lockup, and drivers may see a service parking brake warning or get stuck, unable to shift out of park. Mechanically, this is where EV, simple drivetrain talk doesn't help you. You're dealing with a chassis harness, corrosion paths, shorting, module logic, and fail-safes that can clamp the brake or throw the car into a do-not-move state. Fixes can mean inspection, rerouting, anti-abrasive tape, or harness replacement. That's labor, and it can turn into repeat visits if the wear point is missed. Consumer Reports also expects the 2026 Blazer EV to be much less reliable than average based on early model data. After everything on this list, my rule stays simple. Buy the SUV that spends its life on the road, not in a service bay.